Hello, everyone. It's your girl, Chiquis, and you've reached the voicemail box for Dear Chiquis. I'm here to give you advice on anything and everything you need help with. Maybe you're going through a breakup. Maybe you're having issues with your family. Or maybe you need help figuring out how to balance your checkbook or how to start a business. Whatever the case is, I want to hear from you. Remember, these are my thoughts and opinions, and if you're suffering from an issue or hardship, you should seek help from a qualified professional. All right, now go ahead and leave your question at the sound of the beep.
Hey, Chiquis. I first want to start off by saying I love you and I love your family. I grew up listening to your mom's music and I still listen to her music to this day. And I love your music as well and everything your family does. My question for today is, how do you keep the spark alive when you're far away from your partner, like long distance? Thank you.
Well, my anonymous listener, that's a toughie. I'm not going to lie, especially because I'm the type of person that I want my partner near me. I like my alone time, but I want the hugs and the kisses and you know what I mean? I'm very affectionate. So long distance has never really been my thing. So I hope I can give you the best advice. One time I had a long distance relationship and he was in Iraq, actually. And that was tough. The damn phone bill came out to like $6,000. My mom wanted to choke me. It was crazy. So that's a whole other story. But it is hard. I think that where there is a will, there is a way. And that sounds very cliche. Pero el que quiere puede. And I think that if you guys are both on the same page and do the best to FaceTime, thank goodness we can do FaceTime. There's Zoom. There's all kinds of stuff. But like it's really at the tip of our fingertips now with our phones where you could just be adamant and intentional about, hey, let's get on a FaceTime today. Let's have phone sex. You know what I mean? That's important. Like, even though you guys are far, it's like, hey, let's put your phone and I'll put my phone. I'll put on something sexy for you. And you need to do things that maybe you're not as comfortable with and outside of the box so that you guys can keep that spark going. But I think it's even like sending little pictures, maybe not put your face in it, but like booby pictures or like, I don't know, all that little cute stuff is nice. And even sending him a little package of something like, hey, like his favorite something, like just a random card saying, hey, I appreciate you. Even though you're far, I love you. I miss you. Just coming up with different ideas. And he should do the same. You should also communicate with him so that he's sending you flowers randomly. It's all about communication. And that's what I do in my relationship. I'm like, hey, I like flowers. And so he brings me flowers for the past 2 years, once a week at least, or chocolates. It's like, I like to be conquistada. Like, I want you to romance me. So you have to definitely communicate with your partner. And you can't be upset if he's not doing it because you're not communicating and you're not telling him. So it goes both ways. So yeah, girl, send a sexy picture right now. All right. So our next question comes from Vanessa.
Hi, Chiquis. I just want to start off by saying thank you for having this segment on your podcast. I think it's a really cool way for you to interact with your fans and for us to interact with you. My question for you is, how do I stop attracting the same type of guys? I was in a long-term relationship for 8.5 years, but it was really mentally and emotionally abusive to me. We decided to finally call the quits almost about a year ago, and I'm finally at that point where I'm ready to start, the dating scene. I've been dipping my toes in a little bit, but I've noticed that I'm attracting a lot of the same type of guys with the same red flags as my ex. So I don't know. What's your thought on that?
Well, Vanessa, thank you. It makes me feel so happy that you're loving Dear Chiquis. It makes me feel so close to you guys, and I love doing this. So thank you for that. As far as your question, okay, so as soon as I heard it, I was like, damn, been there, girl. And you know what? What I learned was that I'm attracting, and I was attracting is a big word here. I was attracting the same type of guys, but because I was not learning my lesson. I didn't heal a certain part of my life or a certain part of myself. So it kept reoccurring. It kept appearing again in my life, that same type of relationship, because I had a codependency. I needed to be needed. And what did that do? Then it would bring unhealed people to me so that I can heal them. And that's not what a relationship is all about. You know what I mean? So in your situation, it's good that it seems like you've taken some time for yourself to just say, okay, now I'm kind of ready to like, dip my toes into the dating scene. But I think you're also being smart with not just falling into the same type of relationship for the sake of not being alone. I think you should just need to be patient. And I think sometimes we get so fixated on the type of person that we want as far as like maybe physically that we're not looking outside. Like instead of this is the person I want is what do I need? Asking the universe, asking God, the type of person that I need to be the best version of myself and to bring a healed person into your life so that both of you are on the same frequency of wanting to be the best versions of yourself to come together, because that's what a relationship is. It's just two people coming together and becoming one, but also always respecting each other's individuality. So what I suggest is for you to write down exactly the type of guy that you would want, but at the end of it, be like, God, universe, send me who I need. And I'm telling you, instead of looking at it as a bad thing, I think you're very smart for saying, I see red flags. That's smart. That's already you protecting yourself from falling into the same thing. But keep using this time by yourself to heal, to do therapy, to read books, to really you become what you want to attract. Heal whatever you need to heal. If it's jealousy, if it's insecurities, whatever it may be like, I want to be a more confident person, a more confident woman. I don't want to be jealous. I want to know that my partner is not my property. He is a part of my life. My mom would say he's the dessert. He's not the full course meal. You know what I mean? So think about it that way. And so heal yourself. And then once you are ready and the universe feels that you're ready and you are the person that you want to attract, then you're going to attract the person for you. Even if he's a little shorter than you wanted. You know what I mean? Even if you're like, I want a 6'2" dude. And even if he's 5'7", it's all good, girl. Shoot, I never thought, like, Emilio's kind of short and I always wanted a taller guy. But you know what? He's a sweet guy and I love him and he treats me good. So sometimes you just got to like give and take. You feel me? So Vanessa, I hope I helped you. Okay, good luck with that, baby. Pray on it. I'm going to be praying for you too. Okay, so our next question comes from Amy.
Hey, what's up, Chiquis? It's your girl Amy calling you from Boston, Massachusetts. I was looking for some advice. I know that you've dated men that are also artists just like you. And I'm sure that once your relationship starts, you notice that a lot of the things that they do are similar to things that you do. And people tend to merge both of you together. But how do you keep your own identity? My husband and I are both in the fitness industry and we do everything exactly the same. But sometimes I want to have my own things going on because I feel like I'm losing my own identity. And sometimes when I speak to my husband about that, I can tell that his feelings get hurt. Do you have any advice on how I can still keep my own identity without hurting anybody's feelings? Also, I just wanted to let you know that I've been watching you since season 1 of I Love Jenny. And thank you for growing up with me, being the firstborn female in a Hispanic family, and all the pressure that comes with that.
Oh my God, Amy, you're going to make me cry. I just want to hug you right now. Well, shout out to Boston. I like Boston. Oh my gosh, my heart. Okay, so thank you for watching I Love Jenny and for growing up with me. And I totally understand. It's a lot. I used to feel very upset about it, about being like the firstborn and having to be the example. It's just so much freaking pressure. But now I'm like, it's a blessing and I'm so grateful. So I feel you, girl. I feel you. As far as your question, I love your question. Oh my gosh. It's hard. It's hard. I did date and marry someone that is also an artist. And at first it was very cool. It's like, oh my God, he understands me, my schedule, and like we get it. And it was cool. And then later on, it just started becoming an issue, because I think he felt like he was living in my world. It was all about me. And I don't know. It's just, I feel like he started resenting me in a way. I could be wrong. These are just my ideas and how I feel things change. But it was very, very tough. And because of that experience, I told myself that I'm going to just stay away from artists, So I'm not telling you to break up with your boyfriend. That's not what I'm telling you. Or better yet, your husband. I'm not telling you to divorce him or anything like that. I think you guys can make it work. I think that the fact that you're communicating that to him is a good thing, and he needs to be a little bit more open to it. And I think little by little, mentioning it more and more, and you expressing that it's okay not to do everything together. And that's a mistake that I did in my past. I felt like I wanted my husband to be with me everywhere, and it's like, no, he's his own individual. He's an artist himself, you know what I mean? And it's like, I want him to be with me everywhere, and it's like, no, it's two worlds coming together, and you guys can do the same exact thing, but you need space. So I think just explaining that to him, it's like, I love you. It doesn't mean that I love you any less. I love you very much. And in order to save this relationship, I need to feel like I'm doing my own thing, and I want you to allow me, and I don't want to feel controlled. Maybe for him, it's he loves you so much, he doesn't want to lose you. So he wants you to be there all the time, and let's do everything together. And that's beautiful, especially if a man wants to do that. But we do need our breathing space to miss each other, to want to be around each other, to have more and different conversations. If you're doing everything together, se van a empalagar. It's going to become too much. You know what I mean? Like, it's going to become too much. So I would just suggest keep talking to him and always say it in a nice, loving way. Maybe some couples therapy will help you express it to him, and someone else will better explain it. A mediator, that always helps. Couples therapy is amazing, and I highly recommend it, especially if you guys have been together for a long time. Sometimes you lose the communication between each other, and it just becomes more difficult throughout the years, or easier. But I highly suggest that, and I really feel that you guys can make it work. He just needs to be a little bit more open to it and not get his feelings hurt. That's super important for him to give you that breathing space, and you give it to him too. Maybe he'll appreciate it as well. It'll make your relationship stronger. So I'm curious to hear the update, Amy. Let us know, okay? Thank you so much for your question, and I'm sending you a big hug, big sister. Okay, so our last question comes from Richard.
Hi, Chiquis. I was thinking about going back to school, but I have a partner that doesn't work because of his heart problem, and I was wondering what to do at this point.
Hi, Richard. So I wish I had a little bit more information, but it sounds like you're probably taking care of things financially, which makes it a little bit more difficult for you to go to school. And then your partner, because he has a heart condition, can't work. I don't know if you take care of him financially, but regardless, I think that I am one to always push education, no matter how old you are. If you want to do something at 58 and you want to go back to school, I'm like the first one to say, do it. But I think you're being a wonderful partner, first of all, if you're there taking care of your partner, and I think that's the support that he needs. But you also can't forget about yourself, because then you're going to resent your partner. I think maybe finding a part-time job and going to school at night, or vice versa. I definitely think that there is a way, and maybe your partner being open to finding a job that doesn't necessarily require him to leave his home or her home. I don't know if it's a he or her. I'm so sorry. But you know what I mean? It could be remote. It could be, I mean, there are so many, like even like telemarketing jobs that they could be at home, and your partner has to be open to saying, hey, like, I want to go back to school. Can you support me in this dream? You have to talk to your partner and let them know what you're feeling. You know what I mean? Because you don't want to resent them, and they have to be open to possibly finding a job that suits their lifestyle and what they can do. So that's my suggestion. I know it's breaking your heart because I could hear it in your voice. So I'm sending you a big warm hug, and I hope things get better. But I think it is important that you express this and just say, hey, I'm feeling a little suppressed. I'm feeling a little bit, limited, and I need you to help me. This is my desire. Can you support me in this? What can we do? Can I help you find a job? You know what I mean? So I hope that helps, Richard. Thank you so much. You guys, your questions were awesome. I love them so much. Thank you for submitting them. And I just wanted to say, I know I'm supposed to be the one helping you guys out on this podcast, but you guys help me too, honestly, in so many different ways. You guys make me feel just so happy and just so warm inside. And I'd love to continue to help you sort through your issues, whether it's about love and friendship or both, or maybe you're having a hard time at work or with a family member. Feel free to leave your questions at speakpipe.com/Chiquis and Chill podcast. Can't wait to hear from you. I love you so much. Thank you for tuning in. This is a production of iHeartRadio and the My Cultura Podcast Network. Follow us on Instagram at My Cultura Podcast and follow me, Chiquis, that's CHIQUIS. For more podcasts from iHeart, visit the iHeartRadio app, Apple Podcasts, or wherever you listen to your favorite podcast, and check us out on YouTube.